وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته شيخ.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا مولانا رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم افتح علينا حكمتك وانشر علينا رحمتك وعلمنا من لدنك علما ينفعنا في الدين والدنيا يا كريم. أما بعد، الحمد لله, we continue reading the book of Sayyidina الإمام أبو شجاع رضي الله تعالى عنه وأرضاه. Imam Abu Shuja رحمه الله says, فصل: ويصح ضمان الديون المستقرة في الذمة إذا علم قدرها، ولصاحب الحق مطالبة من شاء من الضامن والمضمون عنه إذا كان الضمان على ما بيناه، وإذا غرم الضامن رجع على المضمون عنه إذا كان الضمان والقضاء بإذنه، ولا يصح ضمان المجهول ولا ما لا يجب إلا ضمان الدرك. فصل: والكفالة في البدن جائزة إذا كان على المكفول حق لآدمي.
It is permissible to guarantee payment of debts that have the potential to become irrevocably established, if the amount is known. The person owed is entitled to seek payment from the guarantor and the one for whom he guarantees, if the debt is as we have clarified. If the guarantor pays, he seeks reimbursement from the one whom he guaranteed, if the guarantee and payment was with his permission. It is not permissible to guarantee something that is not specified or not yet due, except guaranteeing that a sale item is legitimate. In terms of guaranteeing physical presence, it is permissible to guarantee another's physical presence if the one whose presence is being guaranteed owes something to another person.
Okay. Alhamdulillah. This section of the book is known as Dhaman. Dhaman means to guarantee something. And Dhaman, according to fiqh, is also a transaction. It also is built on a contract. Okay? How does that work? Let's say that somebody doesn't trust another person. Okay? Feels that that person won't pay their debt back. Someone else can guarantee that. How does it work? We'll explain inshallah. Okay. So this transaction is built on 5 things. There's 5 components of this transaction. First one is a person who is guaranteeing, okay, which they call the Dhamin, or the person, the guarantor, basically. So the Dhamin. The second is the person who the guarantor, the Dhamin, is guaranteeing on their behalf. Okay. The third is the person who is being guaranteed for. The fourth is the item that is being guaranteed, and the fifth is the contract. Okay. Someone wants to guarantee another person's debt. Okay. Because generally it's regarding debt, and it can only be done with other than debt in certain circumstances. Okay, in certain circumstances. But generally it's regarding debt. So if someone wants to guarantee another person's debt, what are the conditions? The person must be permitted to act financially Islamically. And that means the person who is someone in Islam is considered permitted to act. Some people are not allowed to act. They have money, but they're not allowed to use it. Okay, permitted to act means a few things. Number one, they are mature. Okay, they've reached the age of puberty. They are sane. They're in their full mind. They're not restricted. There's no hajar that happened to them. Okay, and they're not acting on behalf of someone else's property or trust. So, for example, if someone is in charge of another person's, an orphan's wealth, someone who can't use their wealth, they're only allowed to use that wealth with specific things. But generally, they have to preserve that wealth. So if someone has an aman, has a trust that they're holding, it's not theirs, then they can't use it for transactions like this. Okay? And the second condition is that they're not forced. I decide that I want to guarantee Karam's debt because I believe in him and I want to support him. Khalas. Okay? No one's forcing me. There's nothing. I'm the one who chose to do that. Okay. The person that the person is guaranteeing for, the person who basically has taken the debt. Okay, this person must be known to the person who's guaranteeing, to the guarantor, because if you don't know who you are guaranteeing, everyone is different. Some people, they might not be good at paying back their debt. They might not be a person who is good in transactions. So they have to know the person that they're doing this for. Okay. The conditions regarding the debt itself. It must be debt. So physical items can only be guaranteed in very specific cases that will come at the end of the class, some of them. But generally it has to be debt. Okay? Something that is in a person's dhimma. They have to pay it basically. And it has to be something that's compulsory to pay. Something that must be paid. Something that is due, that deserves to be paid. So this is the debt that can be guaranteed. Okay. The contract must not be conditioned. So you don't say, I guarantee this if so and so, whatever. No, there's no condition. There's no, it doesn't depend on anything. It's a general contract, and it must not have a set time, a deadline. What are the rulings if this happens? If someone guarantees another person's debt, the person waiting for their right can ask from either person, the original person or the person who guaranteed. You can ask debt from either. Okay, it's the first ruling. The second ruling, okay, is that the guarantor, this is guaranteed, the guarantor can pay the debt immediately after the contract ends. Okay, if a person guarantees the debt of someone else with their permission, so let's say Karam has a debt. I came and I guaranteed his debt. Okay, now if I pay Karam's debt, what are the rulings regarding me taking his money? Okay, if I guaranteed someone's debt with their permission, okay, then I can go back and be reimbursed. So if I come to Karam and I said, you have $1,000 in debt, I'll guarantee that. And then the person who he took debt from comes and asks me for the money, so I give him $1,000. If Karam gave me permission and I ask his permission, then I can go back to Karam and say, Yallah, I paid your debt up front so that it's khalas. The person no longer asks you, but now I want you to reimburse me. He has to do that. If the person guaranteed without permission, okay, for example, Karam had a debt and I just went and paid it, okay. that they can't be reimbursed unless they made it a precondition and the person agreed. Okay. So if I just go and pay someone's debt, or I say to Karam, I've guaranteed Karam's debt, and he doesn't know, it doesn't give permission, then I still can't be reimbursed because I don't deserve to be paid back for something that he didn't agree on. He didn't sign off. Okay. Now, the author at the end of the section, he says, can you read the last part again, Karam? The last section, it's not permissible.
It is permissible to it is not permissible to guarantee something that is not specified or not due yet, except guaranteeing that a sale item is legitimate.
Okay. This last thing he read is called Dhaman wad-Darak. Basically, it means this is a case where the debt is not, like I said, it's not due, it's not specific, but you can still guarantee. What does that mean? Okay. So generally the condition is that the item has to be known that you're guaranteeing. That's what we mentioned. And it has to be a due debt. Okay. You can't guarantee someone's debt if you don't know what it is or it's not due. In this case, you can. What is that? Basically, if an item, okay, that is being sold, the person who is selling or buying isn't comfortable, and they're worried that basically this item might be stolen, might not be theirs. Okay. If someone sells you a stolen car, for example, or a stolen item, you can't take it back. The person's gone, and it's not even your right. You have to give it back to its owner. Okay? So you can guarantee that if this item is not theirs, if this item is someone else's, if it's stolen, for example, whether the item that is being sold or the item that is being used as the expense is stolen, then you will guarantee that item and you will take care of the expense. This is the only case you can guarantee something that is not a due debt yet, and something that isn't exactly known to the final details. Okay. After that he says فصل والكفارة ببدل جائزة إذا كان على المذكور به حق لآدمي.
It's permissible to guarantee another's physical presence if the one whose presence is being guaranteed owes something to another person.
Okay. The past section in fiqh was about guaranteeing someone's debt, the debt of someone. So not someone physically, but the debt of a person. If someone has debt, then these are the rulings. But in this section, the author is talking about guaranteeing someone's physical presence. Okay. How do you guarantee someone's physical presence? What does that mean? It means basically that if a person, okay, has to attend, there's a right that they own. Okay. And for example, we are worried that person might run away. You can say, I guarantee that they will physically be present. I will bring them. Okay. So it's permissible to do that. Okay. Now, what are the rulings of this type of guaranteeing that happens? Now, of course, this is only when there is a right. Someone owns something to another person, but it's not regarding the rights of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like punishment of whipping or any of the the punishments, the physical punishments. No, you can't guarantee that. But you can guarantee to bring someone who deserves to pay something, for example, deserves to if you're going to physically guarantee someone who has the right of another person that needs to be basically paid, then guaranteeing their attendance has to be done with their permission. In the first section, you don't have to have permission to guarantee someone's debt. Okay? That's from you. But to bring someone, you have to have their permission. Okay. You also have to have your own consent. Of course, you have to. So you agree, and no one forces you to do it, and you take consent of that person, and then you can make this contract. You can make this promise, and you can agree, do the agreement that you will bring this person. Okay. If the person doesn't show up, and the person who guaranteed them doesn't bring them, the person can be locked up until the other one shows up. Okay. And if the person locked up decides to pay debt on behalf of the other person to get out of prison, for example, then he can be let out of prison. But when the other person shows up in a year or 2 years' time, whatever it is, then he can ask the owner to go and get his money from the original person, but he himself doesn't go and do it and get it from that person. Okay, it's a bit complicated, but this is a ruling that people can use if it is needed. Inshallah. The next section is about partnership or الشركة. So the author says فصل والشركة وللشركة 5 شرائط أن تكون على ناض من الدراهم والدنانير وأن يتفقا في الجنس والنوع وأن يختلطا المالين وأن يأذن كل واحد منهما لصاحبه في التصرف وأن يكون الربح والخسران على قدر المالين ولكل واحد منهما فسخها متى شاء ومتى مات أحدهما بطل.
Partnerships. There are 5 conditions for a partnership. A. The capital is based on gold or silver currency. B. The capital agrees in type and quality. C. The capital is mixed together. D. Each partner allows the other to engage in transactions. And E. Profit and loss are commensurate with each partner's contribution. Each partner is entitled to dissolve the partnership at will. If one of the partners dies, the partnership is void.
Okay. The section of partnerships is a big section of them. And every madhab has its details. Shafi'i madhab, the majority of partnerships out there are not legitimate. The only partnership that's legitimate is if both partners, they come in with the original, they both pay money. They both put forward money, the same type of money, for example. So it's mixed, and they both give each other permission to use the money. Okay, they trade. Let's say I come in with 1 million dinars, okay, and Karam comes in with 2 million, okay. I give him permission to use my million for trade, and he gives me permission to use his, okay. So we both allow the other person to use our money. If you allow someone to use your money in Islam, of course they can use it, okay, and you both do your best. Now, whatever you lose, whatever you win, it's between you according to the percentage that you pay. If I pay 2 million, I get more. If he pays 1 million, he gets this. Okay. Now, we can change our minds. We can, both stop doing this if we want. Why? Because it's simple. We both have money. We put in a certain amount. We know the outcome and such. The rest of the partnerships out there are not legitimate. What are they? Okay. So, for example, if a person decides to go into a partnership with someone, okay, and basically one of the people puts in the money, the other person does the work, okay, or Give me the voice. Sorry, the connection. Yes. So basically, if we have two people who get together, okay, they put all their money in, all the effort in. There's no, we don't know the type of money they put in. One of them basically works a different job. One of them sews, the other person does a different job, or they do the same job, but there's no percentage that is understood. Basically, there is a difference that happens. There's no justice. It doesn't count. If we have two people who go into partnership, and basically one of them pays the money, like I said, and the other person does all the work, then also there is dispute that happens there. So there has to be full justice in the partnership if we want it to work. Inshallah, in our next class we'll go into details of partnership, but that's just the general ruling for now. Any questions?
Sheikh, now if a partnership is not legitimate, does it mean that there is sin?
If you're doing a non-legitimate transaction, okay, then of course, in most cases there will be sin. If we take money, we know it's haram and we do it. We know it's not legitimate and then we do it. And if we take someone else's money, then we, But of course, most of these partnerships in the other madahib are correct.
Sheikh, on that last point, if the partner dies, the partnership is void, does that mean that the money, what happens to the capital there?
Yeah,
it gets distributed.
What it is all the next class. There's still details.
Inshallah. Inshallah. Jazakallah khair.
Sheikh, I have a question. With regards to the last condition of the 5 conditions, where it says each by the profit and loss are commensurate with each partner's contribution. So, is it basically that it's in terms of the actual money, in terms of cash, that if someone that the profit and loss is divided by cash, or could it also be that someone maybe has someone's maybe contributed in like some other way, such as like they they have more knowledge of the business or something like that, so they get more. I hope my question sort of makes sense.
Yeah. If I understood your question, look, partnership, in the correct partnership in Shafi'i method, you both put in money, okay, and you both work. Now, according to how much you put in, you work. So, but if we say one of them, well, it's based on their knowledge, they enter because they have knowledge and they have understanding, the other person puts the money, then that's not fair. So we can't judge, we can't weigh the person's knowledge. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
So you put in money, then you let the other person, you give them permission to use your money.
Yeah.
Okay, inshallah, we'll continue partnership in the next class, inshallah. Because we're out of time.